Friends, learners, I welcome all you to this video lecture on the concept, the topic Web 2.0. As you are aware, the two major modes of education, one is the face-to-face education, which we also call traditional or conventional education. And on the other side, we have the open and distance learning. In both the traditional or face-to-face education or the open and distance learning, various technologies are used to reach the learners or in the teaching learning process, and thereby the subject content, the subject matter is reaching to the learners. Of course, there is absolutely no limit, and there are many technologies which can be used in the teaching learning process irrespective of the mode of education. So in today's lecture we will be discussing about one of the most popular technologies which we call like the Web 2.0 technologies. It is of course not limited to a single technology. There are many technologies which fall under this umbrella term, the Web 2.0. So friends, I'll be talking about the concept of Web 2.0 first. In the beginning, we'll start with Web 2.0. Then I'll be talking about how it is different from Web 1.0. How Web 1.0 and Web 2.0 are different. Then I'll be talking about mentioning some of the technologies which are there in Web 2.0, then a little bit about some of the big ideas which are cornering around the Web 2.0 technologies. Then in detail we will be talking about some of the most popular technologies which are there in the Web 2.0 umbrella, Web 2.0 technologies. So this is how it is going to be. So to start with, I'll be giving a brief idea about what Web 2.0 is about. You are aware that we started with the first generation of World Wide Web, which is the Web 1.0. So it is like a continuum. The technologies are not coming on all of a sudden, but it's a gradual change. So that's why we are bringing into this 1.0, then the 2.0, 3.0, so it goes on like. So now we are in Web 5.0 technology. So it started with Web 1.0, the first generation of World Wide Web, and the technology which was predominant or which was making different from Web 2.0 was that Web 1.0 was only the read technology. By that I mean, suppose I am visiting a website, for example, if it is IGNOU website, the content available on IGNOU website I can read only the content which are available on the IGNOU website. As a user, I was not able to write or give any content onto the website or to the website. So the content which was available in the website was only able to read. So that kind of a technology which was allowing the users to read the content was falling into the Web 1.0 technologies. Now after that, the Web 2.0 technology came into the technology world, and this was introduced in 2004, which is the second generation of the World Wide Web. So this is what the Web 2.0 is showing. It is the second World Wide Web. So to show the second generation, the number 2 is added to Web, and that is how Web 2.0 is coming into the technology world. Now if I am saying the definition of Web 2.0, I can say that They are website and applications where the users, maybe in the teaching learning field, we can say the users would be the teachers and students or other people who are engaged in the teaching learning process. So Web 2.0 are the websites and applications where the users read and write. So Web 2.0 are websites and applications where the users could read and write. So I hope the point is clear. In Web 1.0, the users were not allowed to read anything on the website or application softwares. While in Web 2.0, the user is able to read and write. For example, let us again bring the example which I have quoted. Suppose I am visiting the website of IGNOU. I can read the content available in the website, content available on the website. At the same time, if I can write something in the website or on the website, then such a technology is referred to as Web 2.0 technologies. I can take another example. IGNOU is not an example, as such when we are talking about Web 2.0. If I quote a second example, maybe for the Facebook, for example. Facebook, as everyone knows, we are using Facebook. Many people are using Facebook. So the matter available or the content available on the Facebook can be read by the users. If I have a Facebook account, of course I can see the content in my Facebook account. At the same time, if I wish to post a photograph in my Facebook account, this is possible. If I wish to write some text material, if I want to write something regarding any teaching learning or any teaching learning content, if I wish to write on my Facebook account, this is a text material. Of course, I can do that as a user. So this is what I mean to say. When we talk about Web 2.0, the user is able to read the content which is available on the website. At the same time, the user is also able to write content on the website. Then in that case, what all content we can, as a user, can be posted or written on the website? Like you can post, as I said, the text material you can post, you can write content, you can post images, you can upload videos. So absolutely, there is absolutely no limit to that. You can post whatever you feel on the website. So this is how the Web 1.0 and Web 2.0 are different. So let me conclude my discussion on what Web 2.0 is about. Web 2.0s are websites and applications where the users are able to read and write. Friends, now I'll be talking about the difference between Web 1.0 and Web 2.0. So friends, the first difference between Web 1.0 and Web 2.0 is on the type of interaction of the user. In Web 1.0, the user can only read the content which is available on the website. In Web 2.0, it is two-way. The content available on the website can be read. At the same time, the user can post or upload content to the website. So this is about the interaction of the user. Now, the second difference which makes Web 1.0 and Web 2.0 is about the user participation. The Web 1.0 is mostly a authoritarian kind of a participation. By that I mean only the material or the content which is available on the website can be read by the user. So it is something like the material, the content available which are there in the website can be only read. So the content is decided by somebody else where the user have no role in that. So it is something like a authoritarian kind of approach. While Web 2.0 is democratic, the content available on the website can be read at the same time the user can also post content to the website. So it is something like a democratic kind of a user participation. The third difference is reading and writing capabilities. where the Web 1.0 is passive while Web 2.0 is very active when we are comparing it with Web 1.0, because the content, whatever content is available on the website, can be only read, while the other can be, you can edit that, you can add more content, you can delete the content available, so it is always active. Now the fourth is change of content. Web 1.0 is static, as I said. Let me again repeat, the content available can be only read. So for example, if there is a content, if there are some content which is available on the IGNOU website, as a user I cannot make any changes in the content. This will be done by the organization, the IGNOU. While Web 2.0 is dynamic, which can be updated, edited, deleted, whatever you feel, everything can be done on the Web 2.0 technologies. This is what we see in Facebook or some other website, like maybe for example, if I quote the Pinterest, which is a website where you can bookmark the websites which are of interest to you. So this is about the change of content. Web 1.0 is static while Web 2.0 is dynamic. Now about the nature of web content. This is closed. The Web 1.0 is closed while Web 2.0 is collaborative. For example, if I am using a blog, which is of course a Web 2.0 technology, I can invite people to my blog. I can maybe sometimes I can give permission to my friends or those who are there in my network to edit my blog post. They can comment. So if I am posting a teaching learning concept, if I am discussing a content of my subject, that can be posted, then my friends, of course, they can edit, they can add things, they can add images related to that concept. So everything is possible. So this is a kind of a collaborative work where many people join together and they will decide what content is to be there in the website. So it is of course a collaborative work. The other one is closed that way. Then the last is reaching the audience. The Web 1.0 is a pull technology, while Web 2.0 is a push technology. Pull technology, the content which are decided by somebody else, and that will be read by the audience or users, while in Web 2.0 you have number of options where we can add, edit, delete, everything is possible in Web 2.0 technology. So friends, so these are some of the differences between Web 1.0 and Web 2.0. Now talking about the technology standards which are there in the Web 2.0, these terms will be more of technical in nature. The terms which you are going to hear, they are more technological in nature, which as a teacher educator or as a distance educator, we are not that way very much required to know about these technology terms, but for the sake of understanding Web 2.0, there are some technologies which makes it distinct from other technologies. Some of the technologies like the OpenID, for example, if I log into any website, for example the blog, I need to give my login credentials. So this happens with almost all the Web 2.0 technologies. There are technologies like real symbol syndication, RSS, it is shortly known as RSS, OAuth, microformat, AJAX, JavaScript, XML. So these are some of the technologies which makes Web 2.0 distinct from Web 1.0. Now I'll be talking about some of the big ideas which the Web 2.0 carries. Because we have traveled along, there are various advantages, various uses of Web 2.0 in the teaching learning process. So how it is going to help the education? So these ideas are something which is connected to the education also, and how it makes the web 2.0 distinct from web 1.0. Some of the ideas like the individual production and user generated content, then harnessing the power of the crowd, something like, as I said, the users have the freedom to update, delete, add, and whatever you like. So this is possible in the web 2.0, which is not there in web 1.0. So when I upload many content, when I upload, keep on updating my content in my website, like maybe for blog or Wikipedia or social networking site, then the data gets multiplied. So the third big idea which makes it distinct is data on an epic scale. So the data gets multiplied, it goes on increasing, because many people, many blogs, many social networking sites, everything is getting updated. People are adding content to their own website and their own sites, so the data is getting multiplied. Then the architecture of participation is another idea. Then the network effects and the openness, these are some other ideas which are nothing but the web 2.0 technologies are not like an individual kind of activity, but there can have possibilities of collaboration. For example, as I said, if I have a Facebook account, I in my account I can add my friends, I can add my colleagues. So the account in terms of number gets multiplied. I can add content to my Facebook account. My friends can also tag me. So that way, it's not a single kind of an activity, but many people join together. They keep on working on the website. It keeps on adding the content in the website. So it's a kind of a participatory activity, collaborative work, and this is open to all. No one has to take permission of mine to, I mean, like if they want to tag me, they don't have to take my permission. So openness is there with regard to all the web 2.0 technologies. So friends, these are some of the ideas which are connected with 2.0, and the core idea is they are not an individual activity, but it's a collaborative, coordinated effect of many people. Now, I hope you have understood the concepts that we have discussed till now. We had discussed about 1.0, how it is different from 2.0, and some of the technologies and the ideas which are connected with web 2.0. Now, the remaining part of this lecture, I'll be focusing on the most popular web 2.0 technologies. If I quote, these technologies include blogs, wikis, then RSS and syndication, then tagging and social bookmarking, multimedia sharing, then microblogging and podcasting, then the newer web 2.0 technologies. So friends, these are some of the, or we can say these are the most popular technologies which we put in the bracket of web 2.0 technologies. So I'll be taking these technologies one by one and we'll be discussing how this will be helping you in the teaching learning process, both in the conventional and ODL system. The first web 2.0 technology is the blog. If I say the definition of blog, it can be said as like blogs are nothing but they are personal websites that contains content organized like a journal or a diary. So friends, very simple. See, we used to write diary. So how the diaries are written? I mean, like every day, this is the usual practice. Every day we used to write the incidences that are happened in our life. So every day we have to write the diary. This is the usual practice. Now, if we replicate the process of writing diary to the what we call the technology world, technology space, then blog can be used for that. Blog. So blogs are nothing but they are the website which contains the content which are organized like a diary or a journal. So as a user or as a teacher, I will be having a blog. I will have my own blog, and you can just relate to this Web 2.0 technology, how this is going to be Web 2.0 technology. So I will have this blog. I will make use of some software applications like maybe, for example, blogger.com. This is the popular. So making use of blogger.com, I'll create a blog for me. So I have a blog of my own now. So what I will do in the teaching learning process, if I have a material which is related to the concept which I am teaching in my classroom, maybe related to that concept, I have a content. That content I will be posting onto my blog. So of course my students will have details about my blog. They can make use of my blog posting. Similarly, I can ask my students also to comment on the post which I have posted in my blog. So that way I invite my students also to be part of the teaching learning process. Absolutely, there is no limit the way the blogs can be used. It's up to your creativity how blogs can be used. And the blogs can be especially useful in language classes, etc. because we get the chance to write. For example, like in a normal classroom, students are not getting chances for getting into discussions and all. The time period is very limited. So if the teacher wants to engage students in writing, of course they can direct the students to make use of the blogs. So as for example, if as a user of a, or if as a student, if I want to write a poem, this can be, I can of course write in my blog. This can be posted in my blog. If I want to write a paragraph on any of the recent incidents, of course I can do that. This can be posted on my blog, and my friends can also see that blog post. So absolutely friends, it is up to the creativity of the teacher how you are going to use these blogs in the teaching learning process. One thing which makes it distinct is the users, for example the teacher and students, get equal opportunity to engage in the teaching learning process by posting content, by adding images, by adding videos. Everything is possible in blogs. So it's not only like it is limited to text material. You can of course post images, the videos you can post. So anything can be posted in the blog. So this is blog. Now friends, I'll be talking about another popular technology which is the wiki. And the definition says they are websites which can be edited by someone having an account on the wiki platform. Friends, similar to the blogs, there are many software applications which will help you to create a wiki. And you are already, I hope you are familiar with the Wikipedia website, Wikipedia. So what is the speciality of Wikipedia? See, if you have an account in the Wikipedia, if you feel something to be edited in the Wikipedia, of course you are free to do that. For example, I am reading something about technology integration in the teaching learning process, and I found some interesting article in the Wikipedia which is talking about the technology integration. And if as a user, if I want to add something which I feel is relevant to that topic, of course I can do that. Only thing is that you need to have an Wikipedia account. So such website where the users have the possibility, chances to edit the content which are available on the wiki account. Such technology we call it as wiki. And there are, as I said, there are many software applications which will help you to create your own wiki. So it is not necessary that you have to go to Wikipedia platform and edit the content available on the Wikipedia. You make use of the Wikipedia wiki tools like Wikimedia. There are many software applications. You make use of such software applications, create your own wiki. Then the content that you are teaching, the subject that you are teaching in the classroom, that can be posted in your wiki, and the students can be directed or asked to edit the content available in your wiki platform. So friends, this is how wikis are used in the teaching learning process. I hope you are understanding what I am discussing. Now the third popular Web 2.0 technology is the social networking technologies. and this is very popular and common in today's life. You are familiar with the WhatsApp, then Facebook, then Instagram. There are many. The Twitter also is there. Some of the popular technologies I have quoted. So friends, social networking again is a Web 2.0 technology. Why? Because as I said, and I was repeating again and again, as a user you can write anything on the Facebook. If I discuss the definition of social networking, I would say they are set of software system that provides people to join, share, interact and build a communication network on the web. So these are the technologies or programs which allow the users to join, share and create network. And why we are creating such networks, communication networks? Just to share information. In the context of teaching learning, this information would be any teaching learning content. Say for example, if I am a physics teacher, I will have my own, what we say, the Facebook account. If I want to share a concept which is there which is there in physics, which I am teaching, of course this can be shared to my students using my Facebook account. So the students can easily watch that, they can see that, they can read that. Because I have taken this reading material somewhere from the website, I have had spent too much of time for identifying, locating that piece of material, which I feel like it is very relevant for my students, then I can of course share that content to my students using or through the Facebook. So this is, friends, how it is working. So basically social networking sites, as the name indicates, we are creating networks. We are creating networks of people. So if I'm a teacher of 10th standard, I'll be creating a network of my students who are there in my classroom. Then I'll be posting relevant information, relevant videos, images which are there, which are related to my teaching content. If I am a ODL teacher, open distance learning teacher, I'll be creating a network of my students. For example, say for example, if it is MA program, I'll be creating a Facebook account for my students who are doing MA program. Of course, I can have the possibility of developing or creating a Facebook page also where I can accommodate many number of students. So social networking are nothing but their website or software application which will help us to create networks, and there are many number of social networking sites like Facebook, WhatsApp, then Twitter, etc. And people are using social networking in a big way. Even during the pandemic, the IGNOU also was using social networking, the Facebook, in a big way. Many video lectures were telecasted through Facebook and it was reaching to many people who are the students of IGNOU. There are Facebook, WhatsApp groups for many programs. Then the information is shared through WhatsApp also. Students are also sharing many information. So it keeps connected students, it helps them to get information related to the program they are undergoing. There are many benefits of social networking. So friends, this is about the social networking. Of course, they are also Web 2.0 technology because we have the facility to write anything on the social networking sites as we see in Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, etc. Now the fourth, maybe I'll be talking about the tagging and social bookmarking, which is also a Web 2.0 technology. And as you see, or as you are aware, there are two terms. One is this tagging and the other is this social bookmarking. And you are very familiar, like see for example, if I am reading a book, if I find something very relevant, I'll be just bookmarking. I'll be just making note of that point in either in the notebook or somewhere in a A4 sheet of paper. So we used to, or we have the habit of making note of or bookmarking the points which are very relevant to us. Just you replicate this process to the technology world. Suppose I am visiting a website which I find very interesting or which I find it's relevant to me, and I feel like this website has to be frequently visited for getting information, then I'll just bookmark that website. So bookmarking is in that way is the process of tagging a website page with a browser based tool so that you can easily visit it again later. So this is how the definition goes. This is a process of tagging a website page with a web based tool so that can be watched or visited again. Say for example, I am interested in the website of Commonwealth of Learning, which gives a lot of information which is related to the teaching learning process which are happening in the ODL institutions. So what I'll do, I have to either remember the website address of Commonwealth of Learning, or what I can do, I can just Google search and find the Commonwealth of Learning and I can bookmark that Commonwealth of Learning website. So whenever I wish to search that website, I have to take from the bookmarked repository where the website address will be visible. So I don't have to all the time remember the website address, or I have to remember the website address, or I don't have to all the time search the Google. So this is how it is done in bookmarking. Again, this can be correlated to another process where you have the facility of editing, annotating and tagging the web-based documents. Say for example, I am reading a web page in the website and I find something to be annotated, I feel something to be marked, then again I will make use of the social bookmarking facilities. So friends, it is about like noting down or bookmarking the pages or websites or the points which are very relevant or which you feel like it has to be watched or visited again. So for that we make use of this facility. So you just think of how it is going to be a Web 2.0 technology. If I am reading a web page available in the website, in Web 1.0 I was as a user was not able to make any notings in that web page. But in Web 2.0 with social bookmarking tools, with the tagging tools, you as a user can make changes or you can edit the content which is available in the web page or in the website. So that way social bookmarking tools or tagging facilities are Web 2.0 technologies. So then after doing this bookmarking, what you can do, you can share that, you can organize the bookmarked pages, bookmarked web pages, you can search later, you can manage, everything is possible if you have the facility of bookmarking. And that's how it is a Web 2.0 technology. So friends, this is about tagging and social bookmarking. And when you bookmark, you have the facility of tagging also. I mean, like if we discuss the definition of tagging, you can say that it is a process of giving a keyword by the user to an object on the internet. Say for example, again taking the case of a web page. So if you want to make note of, or if you want to bookmark some important points, then you can give a code for that, you can give a keyword for that, and that process of giving a keyword is nothing but their tagging. So the tagging is included in the bookmarking, and bookmarking is nothing but this is the process of tagging a website or web page document, which will help as a user to edit, annotate, watch it again, whatever you feel like. So friends, this is about tagging and social bookmarking, which is of course a Web 2.0 technology. So friends, this is the last Web 2.0 technology which I am going to discuss. This is the real symbol syndication. In short, it is known as RSS. This is nothing but, for example, if I am visiting a website like IGNOU, for example, and as a user I wish to get the updates which are there in the IGNOU website. For example, if the IGNOU update any information regarding the examination going to happen, or about the assignment they are going to submit, or about the convocation which is going to happen. So the IGNOU keeps on updating the website, and as a user I wish to get updates on such updations or such newses. In such a case, I can go with this technology, which is the RSS. So what happens if I am making use of this RSS technology? I'll get updates from the website which I have noted down, or which I have noted in the RSS reader. So friends, to make use of the RSS technology, you need to have an RSS reader also. There are many RSS readers, for example Feedly, Flow Reader, etc. are some of them. So what I am saying is, RSS is a technology which we can say like is the collection of web-based formats that provide updated or shared information in a standardized way. This is the definition of RSS. By that I mean, as I said, if I want to get the updates from any website, what I'll do, I'll make use of any RSS feeder, then I will give the details of the website which I want to frequently visit to the RSS feeder. So whenever there is an updation in that particular website, I'll get that update in my RSS feeder. So I don't have to take the risk of visiting that website frequently, because my RSS reader will give all the updates which are there in that particular website. So friends, this is about RSS, which I would again like to repeat, like this is the collection of web-based formats that provide updated or shared information in a standardized way. So as a teacher, if I am making use of any website which I feel to frequently visit, I don't have to go to that website all the time, because I can make use of RSS reader and give the details of that particular website in the RSS reader, so that whatever or whenever that website is getting updated, I'll get that update in the RSS reader account. So friends, this is how the RSS works. This can be used in both face-to-face education and ODL education. Especially in ODL system, the learners can make use of RSS reader. They can put the IGNOU details in the RSS reader. Then whenever there is an update from the IGNOU, that can be received in the RSS reader. This can be done in all the teaching learning process, both in the conventional and ODL system. So friends, this is about the Web 2.0 RSS technology. Friends, in this lecture we have discussed about the Web 2.0 technologies. I hope you have understood the technologies that we have discussed today. We have started with Web 2.0, the concept of Web 2.0. Then we had discussed how it is different from 1.0. Then we had discussed some of the big ideas which are cornering around the Web 2.0 technology. Then we had discussed about some of the most popular Web 2.0 technologies. I hope you have understood. I would request all the learners to make use of these technologies. This can be used both in the teaching learning, like in teaching and learning. In both teaching and learning, you can make use of such technologies. Thank you. Thank you for listening to this lecture.